evening. I'd like to call the City of Mount Vernon City Council meeting for June 9, 2021 to order. The time is now 7 o'clock. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item C is our roll call of council members. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Here.
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 Here. Here. Here.
Present.
Chris, if you don't mind maybe checking on that to see if they need to call dispatch 911.
Chief's out there.
Does he have a radio though? Why don't you double check?
He is, okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, sorry. Consent agenda is up next. Items A, B, and C. That's approval of council meeting minutes, direct deposit checks, payroll checks, wire transfers, and claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Melissa and a second by Mary. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries, thank you. Under reports tonight, first up is our Public Works and Library Committee report, and that is Councilmember Gary Molinar. Gary.
Okay, we opened up the Public Works and Library Committee meeting tonight at 6 o'clock. First up, Blaine Chesterfield, our program coordinator, talked about the City Street Division is installing the first 22-foot section of a freeway drive force main outfall this week. The final 26-foot section will be also completed later in the summer. Staff is finalizing a new 2-year professional service agreement with Brown and Caldwell for the NPDES municipal stormwater implementation and plans to present it to our council on June 23rd. Bill Bullock then gave us some project updates. Public Works is requesting to set a hearing of the 2022-27 6-year transportation improvements program on June 23rd. This item is also on the council agenda tonight. Staff is also requesting an amendment for construction management services to the existing professional service agreement with PBS Engineering for Freeway Drive Improvements Project in the amount of $200,290. This item is also on the agenda for approval tonight. Additionally, the Freeway Drive Improvement Project went out for construction bids on June 8th with a bid opening scheduled for the end of the month. Construction schedule discussion points were also reviewed. On the dealing with the new curb ramps, 27 of the 81 for the 2020 curb ramp improvement projects have been constructed. Work is currently underway at LaVenture and Colshan Avenue. Staff is working on a professional service agreement for design services with Transpo Group for the Hogue and LaVenture Signal project, that will hopefully be in construction by next year. Mount Vernon signed an agreement with PSE for Colshan Trail Lighting Project. Since the government agreement was executed, electric tariffs has changed the monthly facilities charges, and the agreement will probably need to be amended. Skagit Council of Governments selected 2 Mount Vernon projects for funding. First up, preliminary engineering services for Riverside Drive improvements from College Way to Skagit River Bridge in the amount of $348,000, and the River Dike Trail project from Division North to the city limits in the amount of $263,000. Also approved but remaining on the contingency list are 3 additional Mount Vernon projects. Mayor Boudreau then gave us an update on the hiring process that's currently underway as of today for our new public works director. Next up, for library, Isaac highlighted the changes of the library building that are being made as patrons prepare for the opening, which hopefully will be on July 6th. Highlights were also provided. The about the new library and the Commons project, and the new grant from that we received from Skagit Valley, Skagit County. The summer reading program will begin July 5th through August 16th, and please register to get the t-shirt that accompanies this event. And we close the meeting at 6:44.
Great, thank you, Gary. Next up is our Public Safety Committee report. That's from Councilmember Marcos. Mark.
Last Wednesday, June 2nd, the Mount Vernon Public Safety Committee met. We first heard from Chief Bryce. He talked to us about a project that his department and the County Health Department are working on. It's pop-up vaccination clinics. You may have seen some of them over the last few weeks, just little pop-up stations where people can go in and get vaccinated. The next one is scheduled for June 19th from 8 to noon, and that'll be at the Farmers Market. So if you want to get your vaccination, if you pop down there, they'll take care of you. They're primarily trying to use the Johnson & Johnson vaccines, so it's a one-shot and done. However, if they have to use one of the other vaccines, the health department will contact you to get your follow-up vaccination taken care of. We then moved into a discussion about some updates we want to do to stations 2 and 3. The council, the mayor, and the fire department have been working to identify all the needs for stations 2 and 3. We've received some what's called GEMT money. It's actually a reimbursement from FEMA. So we're able to kind of look at what the needs are in those two departments, and we'll probably be able to utilize some of those funds to do those upgrades. So it won't be any increase in taxes or taxpayer money direct from Mount Vernon. This will be some funding that's going to be coming in through FEMA. So we're moving forward with that process, identifying the needs, developing the plans, and that'll be coming before council once everything's identified, and council will take action on it at the appropriate time. We're still going to have a need for Station 1 replacement. We took a bond to the voters a couple of years ago and asked for a pretty large sum of money. A lot of that was to deal with stations 2 and 3. So we'll be able to come back and ask the voters for a replacement of Station 1 at a much reduced scale, size, and scope of the project. We then moved into some discussions about what the legislature did with policing. The last legislative session. There's a lot of reconciliation that's going to have to go on. There's some bills that conflict, so those will have to be reconciled. One of the things that stood out most to me in Chief Kamek's presentation was the expectation that we currently have of our police department may not be what we can expect in the future. There's been a lot of restrictions put on law enforcement as far as when they can intervene, what they can do to prevent crime. So it's kind of a concern. There's going to be a lot of retraining that's going to go on with the department. So as that develops, and as Chief Kamek is able to implement these changes, we'll keep the public apprised on that. Then we talked about the staffing needs, some reorganization, some promotions, and ongoing hiring. And we wrapped up about 7:22.
Great, thank you, Mark. Next up is item B, our community comments. And is there anyone here that would like to speak for community comments? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. I'm also told that we didn't receive any community comments through the email as published in our agenda. So, all right, next up is item C, any council member comments this evening? Well, here first, go ahead, Councilmember Hudson.
Thank you. Today I was happily down by City Hall and got to watch the parade of our graduating seniors from Mount Vernon High School. It was really fun to watch them. They were having a wonderful time, honking horns, waving balloons. It was really festive and great. I just want to say to the seniors, you've had a tough couple years, and I'm really impressed by how well you pivoted and made the best of a situation that none of us would ever wish on anyone. Hopefully this won't happen again in any of our lifetimes. I would also like to, I also like to say that I think a lot of those kids handled this pandemic a lot better than a lot of adults did. So I have to say congratulations to you guys. You did a wonderful job. Want to shout out a few people that I want to recognize. Alexa Grajish, I'm going to say this wrong. Grajishkin
Good.
was the valedictorian of the Mount Vernon High School senior class. She was the sole valedictorian. Her mother is Carrie, and she is the administrative assistant to the mayor. A couple other kids that I know have known since they were young. I'm just going to name off some names: Jacob, Trevor, Liam, Van, Libby, and Wilson. I also want to give a special shout out to Isaac Donovan, although he went to the wrong high school. His dad, Peter, works as a project coordinator in the mayor's office. So, way to go, Isaac. I'm sorry you didn't go to Mount Vernon, but we'll let you go anyway. So, just wanted to say congratulations to you all. You've done a great job.
Thank you. Councilmember Holst, Mark.
So I'd like to kind of make a plea to the public. I received an email from a concerned citizen the other day to my personal city email, and there was some accusations about what council has and hasn't done. I responded to that, but I also asked for specifics of what the concern was. And unfortunately, I never did receive an email back as far as what the specific concern this individual had. And I'm here to tell you that there's not a member on this city council that won't respond to a citizen's concern if we know what it is. But when we get emails that make accusations but don't tell us what the problem is, there's no way for us to handle it. So if you've got a concern within the city, and you want to contact one of your city council members, please be specific of what the concern is so that we can help address that and get that rectified for you.
All right. Any other councilmember comments tonight?
I'll have an additional comment, piggyback off of Councilmember Hudson's comments, that I also want to just go ahead and take the time to congratulate all the graduates and all the scholars that have just accomplished a huge milestone. We're talking about 13 years, or even more if you did early education, 13-year journey in education, and following up with another 4, another 2, or in a different field and whatnot. So it's recognized. It's a pretty big deal. I mean, these are going to be the individuals that in a few years they're going to be occupying the seats that we have here and in other occupations. So big congratulations to those young scholars. Thank you.
All right. We'll go ahead and move on then. So item D is mayor's report, and I think someone will click slides for me. Just a couple things that I thought would be of interest. Skagit PUD, so our Public Utility District for Water, has been working on a project that they announced back in April, and it's a micro hydro system. And so I'm just going to refer folks for all the details if they'd like to see to the PUD website, which is skagitpud.org. I was asked to be in a video kind of supporting their project. And so what this is, it involves installation of a pressure recovery valve inside a water pipe. So water pipes are highly pressurized so that it gets water, pumped to places it needs to go or flowing with gravity. And so a couple of different science initiatives have been around how to capture the pressure and turn that into energy. So Skagit PUD decided to be a part of a project with a company from Oregon. We're the only city in the state of Washington to do this so far, and they have installed this up at the water tower up off of Division and Digby. And so what this is it's a if you go on their website, you can watch videos and all that kind of stuff. So it generates electricity, it generates power. So the idea is that they could offset some of the energy costs by doing these micro hydro system projects. The city of Hillsborough used theirs installed, that's what the picture's on the screen, to help fund electricity for an events and athletic field. So powering some of the concession areas or the lighting for the field. And so it generates, according to the Hillsborough, about electricity equivalent to 20 homes for a year. So it's just kind of a neat project that we have here in our very own city. Want to be as supportive as we can of Skagit PUD in moving forward with that. So check it out at skagitpud.org. And we want to talk with them about maybe in some of the projects the city's doing to try and take advantage of something like that, so. And then I too just want to say congratulations to our seniors, and this picture from today. Again, very proud of Alexa for being valedictorian and her college aspirations, so congratulations to our seniors. And have a great summer before the next adventure in your life. All right. Item E is committee agenda requests. Any committee agenda requests from council? All right. Moving on then, we have no unfinished business. Under new business, agenda item A is an interlocal agreement with Skagit County for Economic Development Grant, and Peter Donovan is here to present this item.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. The City of Mount Vernon applied for Skagit County's Economic Development Grant funding for the purpose of making improvements to the front of house or lobby area of the historic Lincoln Theater. That is a city-owned property, and those improvements will be made within the current footprint of the property. And the plan includes expansion of the restroom facilities and the enhancement of the flow of patron traffic throughout the lobby area. Skagit County Commissioners selected the city's Lincoln Theater project to receive $100,000 in its 2021 Economic Development Grant funding cycle. And we thank them for that. We thank the committee members who recommended that. And staff is recommending that council authorize the mayor to enter into this interlocal agreement with Skagit County in the amount of $100,000 for improvements to the historic Lincoln Theater.
All right, before there's any questions, I wanted to recognize Mr. Roger Geetson, who's here today, the executive director of the Lincoln Theater, and he actually deserves all the credit for writing the grant. The county wanted us to have the money come through the owner of the building, so it was really Roger's work, and we're happy to help out here. So any questions for Peter on this?
I would move to authorize the mayor to enter into the interlocal agreement with Skagit County.
I'll second.
All right, thank you. So motion by Mark and a second by Juan. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Thank you, Roger. All right, item B tonight is a planning commissioner appointment, and Development Services Director Chris Phillips is here to present this item.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. So I have the pleasure this evening to introduce you to James Fickert, who is located right there. James has a master's degree in urban planning and has worked in the development and construction private sector, and has volunteered countless hours serving the local community on a variety of issues that include low-income housing solutions, small business initiatives, and a variety of redevelopment proposals. He will serve on the Planning Commission from today until his term would expire in December of 2023. What we're asking is if you would confirm the mayor's appointment for Mr. Fickert to the Planning Commission.
All right. I'm thrilled that Jim is wanting to serve in this capacity. I've been really impressed with his involvement in the community over the last several years, and really supportive of the challenges that are faced and wanting to be at the table to provide solutions. So any questions?
I'd call you James.
Jim works.
Sounded pretty professional.
I know. I would move to approve Jim Fickert for Mount Vernon Planning Commission.
Second.
All right, motion by Gary and a second by Melissa. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. I've also, since Jim's here, I asked if he would be okay if we swore him in to make it official, so I'm going to ask him to step forward toward the podium. And I'll just say you. All right, if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jim Fickert,
I, Jim Fickert,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Washington,
of the state of Washington.
and that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
Mount Vernon Planning Commission member
Mount Vernon Planning Commission member
for the city of Mount Vernon,
for the city of Mount Vernon,
county of Skagit,
county of Skagit,
state of Washington,
state of Washington,
according to law,
according to law,
to the best of my ability and understanding.
to the best of my ability and understanding.
Congratulations and thank you for serving. All right. Item C tonight is to schedule a public hearing for adoption of the 2022 to 2027 six-year transportation improvement program. And our city engineer, Bill Bullock, is here for this item. Bill?
Okay. Good evening, council. So we adopted the 2021-27 six-year TIP a couple months ago, and then this is just a motion to set a public hearing for June 23rd, and I need to point out that there's an error in the council memo at the bottom. So instead of April 28th, as it reads, it should be June 23rd, because that's our next council meeting we have, to adopt the 2022-2027 six-year transportation, which will put us on the annual regular cycle of once a year for six-year TIPs. And any questions?
Any questions at this point? Again, tonight's action is literally authorizing us to set a date for the hearing, so. Okay.
I'll make a motion that council authorize the mayor to direct staff to schedule a notice of public hearing for the 2022 through 2027 Mount Vernon six-year transportation improvement program. Whew.
It's a long, yeah, I know.
Second.
All right, motion by Melissa and a second by Gary. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, thank you.
That's why I spell out the number 6, because otherwise you have this long train of numbers.
All right, item D tonight is an agreement amendment with PBS Engineering and Environmental Incorporated, and again, Bill's here for this. Bill?
Okay, so we have put out the Freeway Drive project, construction project, construction advertising yesterday. We will be opening bids on the 30th. So PBS Engineering is the firm that designed the project for us and got us to bid-ready documents. Now we're doing an amendment to convert things for construction management during the project. This is a federal project. There is quite a bit of documentation and other things to keep track of on federal projects. So moving forward, this will be it's not a separate contract, we're doing a contract amendment, but it's essentially a separate body of work to be able to move forward with the construction. We are in line with awarding the construction project on the 30th of June, well, opening bids on the 30th of June, so this puts us right in line with getting them ready to go as soon as construction breaks ground.
Okay, questions for Bill on this item?
I'd move the council authorize the amendment 1 with the agreement with PBS Engineering and Environmental.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Mark and a second by Mary. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bill.
council.
Item E tonight is an interlocal agreement with Skagit County for an economic development grant. Our library director, Isaac Huffman, is here for this one. Isaac?
Hello and welcome. As you all are aware, the Mount Vernon Library Commons project is an economic accelerator for Skagit County, and we're very excited to be awarded a grant from Skagit County to support this project that will support both the development of housing and area businesses around it. The amount is $500,000, so we're very excited about that, and we'd like to thank the county commissioners and the members of the committee for selecting the project. And I ask that you enter into an interlocal agreement with Skagit County for this grant.
Any questions for Isaac?
If there are no questions, I'll motion for council to authorize the mayor to enter into a interlocal agreement with Skagit County for grant funding.
I'll second.
Thank you. So a motion by Juan and a second by Iris. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Isaac. And thank you, Skagit County.
You bet.
All right, that completes our agenda items tonight. I'll ask our city attorney if there is a need for an executive session.
There is. I'd invite the mayor and members of city council to enter into an executive session to discuss legal counsel matters relating to enforcement action, litigation or potential litigation to which the city, the governing body, or a member acting in an official capacity is or is likely to become a party when public knowledge regarding the discussion is likely to result in either adverse legal or adverse financial consequence to the city pursuant to RCW 4230-110 subsection 1I, and moreover, to discuss issues related to collective bargaining sessions and planning or adopting strategy or positions related to collective bargaining, which is exempt from the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to RCW 423140 subsection 4, 25 minutes, and council is not expected to take final action following the executive session.
All right, great, thank you. Then with that, we'll be adjourned at 7:25.
That was quick.